Children who possess the Sigma personality type are some of the most intellectual, intense, and strong-willed children you could ever meet. With Sigma personalities beginning to form in early childhood, these individuals develop their strong sense of curiosity early on, seeking to thoroughly understand the world around them, which often makes them feel misunderstood and isolated. These children face many difficulties growing up, and in this video, we're going to discuss these childhood struggles that are typical experiences for the Sigma male archetype. Even from a young age, Sigma children possess a fierce independence, wanting to learn how to do everything by themselves so they can avoid becoming a burden or feeling incapable of doing things for themselves. This independence means they also crave their personal space, which will often concern the parents of a Sigma child, who become worried for their son's need to spend so much time alone. The Sigma child easily appears to others as some sort of loner. But in reality, this isn't the case. It is simply a part of who they are. Even toddlers who become Sigma seek to find hiding places where they can escape and retreat into their young minds, be it a tree, a cupboard, or just a quiet corner in an empty room. Sigma children need that crucial time to themselves to process their thoughts and emotions and to decode the information they have gathered. By contrary to what others may believe, this doesn't mean they don't enjoy being social. They enjoy engaging with people, they just need enough time alone to access their introverted side and engage in activities that harness their creative, intuitive energy in solitude, such as playing, reading, playing video games, creating art, or listening to music. Early school years can be especially taxing for the young Sigma in terms of fitting in, especially when teachers usually tailor their lessons to accommodate the average child. In school, Sigma kids may face difficulties with other children because they are strong and independent enough to do their own thing, not conforming to peer pressure. But this can quickly alienate them from their classmates, who they mostly view as loud, shallow, and obnoxious, with the young Sigma feeling a lack of desire to communicate with them. Mislabeled as loners with an unusual personality, Sigma kids often experience bullying or teasing, sometimes being singled out as the weird kid by other children. This exacerbates their feeling of isolation and loneliness, creating problems with trust and feeling like they have to betray themselves by changing or adapting to fit into the common mold. Even as children, Sigmas struggle with their desire to be perfect at everything they turn their hand to. This craving for perfectionism means they will do things many times in order to get it right, which can come across as pretty neurotic to those who don't understand the inner workings of the Sigma mind. The already self-sufficient nature of the young Sigma means he holds himself to exceptionally high standards, which can quickly overwhelm him. He's already extremely goal-orientated and can become obsessed with achieving them. For example, with his schoolwork. He can become frustrated and angered if he's not able to meet his high expectations after being consumed by a project or piece of work. It's not just the pressure from those around him, but at times the pressure that the Sigma child places on himself can make him feel not only overwhelmed but burdened by these immense pressures. Just the thought of being mediocre, even at such a young age, can be distressing. Parents naturally become curious about their son's amazing ability to comprehend situations with laser focus, but by the same token they can find it a challenge to understand their child. The young Sigma and his desire to continue to learn and improve himself needs the support of his parents during these formidable but significant years. If the Sigma's parents constantly hold him back without trying to understand him, teach him and give him the information he seeks, then they could be setting him up for misery and discontentment. A common theme we see in the Sigma child, as well as in his later life, is the propensity to be misunderstood. He naturally sees things from numerous angles and perspectives that others in his age group just can't comprehend. This is far more of a struggle for the Sigma as a developing child, as he battles between trying to be himself, but simultaneously feeling like he has to hide his true self in order to fit in. Once grown up, the Sigma doesn't face the same battle, as he's comfortable with who he is and doesn't care about fitting in. But as a child, this can be a really difficult time of life. These mental gymnastics that a child goes through can make him come across as distant and cold. But the truth is that there is so much going on inside of his head that he isn't yet ready to express openly. Sigma children mature at a much faster rate than other kids, maintaining their level of curiosity and craving for learning, which means they often become more discerning and stable than those of the same age, and teachers can label the Sigma child as too argumentative or too serious for his age. This isn't the case, it just seems this way because of his active and curious mind that's constantly sifting through information and trying to solve new problems, which is what develops the Sigma's problem-solving trait as he grows up. This intelligence that the Sigma develops early on can act as a sort of barrier between him and his parents, even more so if his parents don't share a similar mentality and are very different to their son. Because Sigmas are such a rare personality type, it's very common that parents don't share the same qualities as their child. Unsurprisingly, this just creates more misunderstanding between them, but the Sigma doesn't necessarily understand this or the reason why. He just suffers with the consequences, as even though Sigma children are mature for their age, they are still children after all. As his deeper traits are being formed, Sigma children deal with many struggles, including simply feeling different. This is a challenging feeling for most children to deal with, even the highly capable and intelligent kids like the Sigma. For them, they feel like they are supposed to blend in as that's what they've been taught by society, but they just don't have that desire to be like everyone else, which can cause more internal conflict, causing them to feel even more alienated. Time alone is something that is rarely afforded to children for many reasons, but for the Sigma child, alone time is crucial. Most of the time it feels to the Sigma child that adults are intent on hovering over him, invading his personal space. He struggles with wanting to be respectful, as we are taught as kids that we must always respect our elders, but the issue is that he doesn't have an innate sense of respect for authority, and feels like respect needs to be earned. To be fair, the young Sigma has a good point, but this inevitably causes conflict and gets him into trouble with the authoritative figures in his life. On the topic of respect and authority, the young Sigma's curiosity and independence means he wants to know the truth about every rule imposed on him. He is unlikely to accept or adhere to a rule just because someone older than him says so. He still has to know the logic and reasoning behind any rule, decision, or statement, and won't hesitate to ask why, even if he gets accused of being insolent. Because I said so just isn't good enough, and the authority figure in question is at risk of losing all of the Sigma child's respect. The problem is that this behavior is often regarded as disrespectful or argumentative, instead of the fact that needing answers is just a natural part of a Sigma's development. For the Sigma, arguing isn't a sign of disrespect, it's just another way of learning. Parents and teachers who are insulted by his questions and his need for justification can leave the young Sigma feeling stifled. Sadly, this also leads to many parents who want their child to accept their leadership without question, to excessively discipline their Sigma son, which can cause childhood trauma and negatively impact the Sigma throughout his years. A common theme that connects these struggles: the Sigma child feels like people are always trying to change who he is, and he naturally cannot allow this to happen. Feeling obliged to adjust his behavior to please others is something that the Sigma often carries through into his adult years, but that doesn't mean he will ever comply. However, this feeling is often something that makes him want to further distance himself from others, which again brings up issues around trust. Sigma children are intelligent and curious beings, with the need to be left to grow at their own pace. To flourish and be happy, they need honesty and support from the people close to them. It is essential that parents nurture their son's unique abilities, understand his need for alone time, provide him with creative opportunities, and above all, appreciate him for his intelligence, curiosity, and wonder for the world around him. Thanks for watching today's video on the childhood struggles of the Sigma male. Do you relate to any of these struggles throughout your childhood? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you got something out of today's video, then please do like and share. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when we next upload. That's all for now, and we'll see you in the next one.